friends, my name is Lauren and welcome back to my channel. So today I bring a different video than the content I normally make, as this is a little mini celebration video for hitting 1,000 subscribers. I reached that milestone on June 30th, so I know this video is coming a little bit later, but still, like, what? That's crazy. I said this in one of my other videos previously, but I just want to say thank you so much to everyone that has watched my videos, subscribed, liked, or commented on anything. Just supported me in any way you can. I appreciate it, and I just can't be here without you guys, so thank you. And it's been super fun these last 2 years since I've been on like booktube, or like almost 2 years on booktube, and it's just been a pretty lit time overall, you know? I love connecting with you guys. I think it's so fun, and the fact that there's so many people that like somehow like my content one way or another, I appreciate that, so thank you so much. Anyways though, I thought I would just have a little mini like celebration video and do something I've never done before, which is a Q&A. And to be honest, I don't really expect that many people to care about anything about me, but I did ask you guys on one of my YouTube videos as well as on my Instagram if you had any questions for me to please ask them for this video. And so I have a couple questions on booktube, a bunch of questions about books and reading, and then a couple of just general life questions as well. So they're all going to be organized in this video. We're going to answer some questions, have some good times, and thank you for being here. Thank you again for 1,000 subscribers, and I look forward to more videos in the future and making some good connections with all of you. So first up, we're going to have some questions about booktube. So a question from Emma from Perfect Paperbacks on Instagram. She asks, what is my favorite thing about booktube? And booktube as a whole, I'm gonna say my favorite thing is the community, because I love having people connect with me on my videos. I love seeing other people's videos as well. I love watching booktube videos, and I think genuinely just the whole community of booktube is super fun. I love booktube because I love creating content and connecting with people that feel the same way I do, especially about certain books. If I review them and people have the same opinions as me, or if they have different opinions, I just love connecting with people within the same community that have the same interests as me. A question that kind of connects into this one was by Rebecca on Instagram, asking me what the best thing that's happened to me since joining the online book community. And these two questions are kind of connected, so I'm kind of putting them together. To be honest, it makes me feel like less of a loner in my interests, and also builds my confidence up a little bit. Like when I was first starting out on YouTube, one thing that I was thinking about was like, people gonna judge me? Like, are they gonna make fun of me? Blah, 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 blah. Like, I didn't really care about the online part, but like in person. But then I just one day had the realization, like, no one's gonna come up to me and say you suck to my face. So what do I really have to worry about? Like, if it makes me happy, then why do I care what other people think that don't care about my content anyways? So when I see people that comment saying, oh, I have the same opinions as you, or oh my god, you said my thoughts exactly, or oh my god, I love this book, or I read this book you recommended, like, that's the people's opinions I care about, you know? So I love connecting with the like booktube or just book community in general, because I love being able to share my passions with people, and again, not feeling like such a loner with all my reading that I do, because I know in person, I know I only have like one friend that actively reads the same amount of books that I do, rather than just having like one friend in person. Having a whole online community definitely makes you feel like less stupid, so I really appreciate that. Next up, I'm gonna jump into questions about books and reading. There's a lot in this category. So I have a question said by two different people, again from Emma from Perfect Paperbacks, and I'm sorry I do not know how to say your name, Shuryaskiji. I'm really sorry, I do not know how to say your name. Which is, have you always gravitated to reading books, and if not, what was the book that kind of got you into reading? I guess as a kid, I read books like casually. I was never like a huge reader, but I just like kind of read them as kids do. But then my main time where I was like, reading is what I love it, it's great, was when my friend Rebecca in grade 7 gave me this list of books she loved, and then I started to want to read them. And I remember asking my mom to get me The Hunger Games, and I wasn't allowed to read it at the time, but then for Christmas, Santa brought me it, and so it was okay, so I was allowed to read the Hunger Games trilogy, and that was the series that got me into reading. I think I read the books in 3 weeks, so like one book per week. That was what got me hooked on reading from there. The Hunger Games series, that's why I have like a whole dedicated shelf here, because I love it. I appreciate what it has always done for me, and it's around my third favorite series right now, because of course I have read other things since like 5 years ago, but it's still always gonna have a special place in my heart. I love it, and that is the series that got me into reading. Okay, so Rosalind Wilson asks on YouTube, out of all the books you have ever read, what are your favorite 3 characters? Now, this question kind of pained me because I have so many favorite characters, but I was surprisingly able to narrow it down to 3. And in no particular order, I'm gonna name them because I could not do a tier list. The first one I'm gonna say is Lila Bard. She is the main female protagonist in the Shades of Magic trilogy, and I absolutely love her so much. She's so cool, she has such great goals, and I love her progression of her we see throughout the series, and how she always wants to go on an adventure, and I love her character so much. The next one I'm gonna name is Maven Kalor from the Red Queen series. This series is one of my favorites, and I absolutely love Maven Kalor because he is one of the best characters I've just ever read. I don't want to say anything about his character because I don't want to spoil anything in the series, but he is such a morally gray character and I love hearing his thoughts, especially in the last book when he got an actual perspective from him. Was so cool. So because of that, he is one of my favorite characters as well. And lastly, at place number 3, I'm going with Jude Duarte from the Cruel Prince trilogy. She is so cool and she's again such a morally great character, but I love her so much. She does some questionable things, but I also love her with all of my heart. So I have named these 3 characters as all my all-time favorites. A couple honorary mentions, however, is gonna go to Cal from the Shades of Magic trilogy, Tella, Scarlet, Dante, and Julian from the Caraval series, Cardan from the Cruel Prince, Sophie and Agatha from the School for Good and Evil, and then Francis and Alid from the book Radio Silence. Just to name a few. I'm really sorry, I'm really bad at pronouncing names, but I think it's Sakura asks, have you read any classics? And if yes, what books did you like? To be honest, the answer is no, I don't really read classics. Any classic book that I've read, I didn't like, and I've often tried to start some, but I end up losing interest very fast. I just really don't think classics are for me or what I like at this time. Maybe in the future I will try to read some then, but just for the time being, nothing really sticks out to me. And they also said, what attracts you to a book? Like the cover, the blurb, the rating, etc. And so for me, it definitely just depends on what my setting is. If I'm at the bookstore or if I am browsing online, the cover and the title play like the biggest factor for me because that's the first glance you get at the book. And if it looks and sounds interesting just based off those 2 things, I will look to see what it's about. Or maybe I will go to Goodreads and see what other people think. But definitely the cover and the title are the first things I see. And even though you're not supposed to like judge a book by a cover, I think we all do that. So that's definitely one big thing. However, if I'm watching someone's wrap-up video, for example, I will definitely pay more attention to what they have to say about the book or like what it's about versus the cover and the title. Because if someone else has read the book and I like already watched this person's videos and kind of trust their opinion on books, if they like it, chances are I will like it too, and I'll pay more attention to those feelings. Next question, Caitlin asks, if you could only have 3 books, which ones would they be? And I've decided to put this one at 4 books because I want to. And so that's going to be Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab, Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard, Caraval by Stephanie Garber, and The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins. Those are like my top favorite books right now, and so I just thought having the first book of each of those would keep me very, very happy. So because of that, I have decided to pick those 4 books. And Caitlin asks again on Instagram this time, would you ever see yourself writing a book one day? And the answer is 100% yes, but I would have a long way to go to do that because I don't really write that much. I just love the idea of writing and the idea of writing a book, but I need to actually practice that idea more. So yes, I would love to write a book one day, but I think I'd have to put a whole lot of work into that. So maybe one day, we'll just have to see. I hope I'm saying this right, but Amara G, she asks, fictional characters you have a crush on. For this one, I'm going to kind of just pick 2 characters that I don't really have a crush on, but I think I just like their relationship in the book a lot, and that's what I'm going to pick. So kind of their relationship with someone they have in the book. And that is going to be none other than Dante and Julian from the Caraval trilogy. I love the couples in that book so much. They're amazing. Some of my all-time favorites. And so I just have to pick none other than them. Throne of Books asks, how many books approximately do you read in a day? And now, that's a funny one. You flatter me. You think I read consistently? Absolutely not. I tend to read whenever I feel like it. I really cannot commit myself to reading a certain amount of pages a day because sometimes I will read nothing for a whole 2 weeks. Sometimes I'll read a book in a day. Sometimes I will go reading 200 pages in a sitting or 50 pages. Like it all really just depends. I find the maximum amount of pages I can normally do comfortably is 200 pages if I'm in the mood to read. After that, I might get bored. But sometimes I can't even read 10 pages without getting bored. So it really just depends on the book, the day, how I'm feeling, and all of that. I wish I had a nice reading schedule though. I really, really do. Rebecca asks, what's your favorite book you have read because of the hype? And all the books I kind of read are very popular ones that all have had hype at some point, but I'm gonna kind of pick the book that I want people to read that I don't think had that much hype at the time when I was learning about it, but it is Radio Silence by Alice Oseman. The main reason I read this book is because one of my favorite booktubers, Kat from Paperback Dreams, went on and on and on about this book, and I read it and fell in love with it myself. Ever since then, I have been recommending it to people left, right, and center because I think so many people just need to read this book. And so I think now it's getting a little bit more hype, especially since Alice Oseman is a UK-based author. I think she's getting a little bit more hype in like Canada and the US and stuff. It's not a super hyped book, but she really hyped it up for me. So hence I'm picking Radio Silence for this category. And ask, what's your favorite Black Indigenous people of color book written by a Black Indigenous or people of color author? Now for this question, I have a bunch, but I'm gonna go with my most recent, which is This Is Kind of an Epic Love Story by Kaysen Callender, and I loved this book a lot. I gave it a 4 to 5 stars. I annotated it, had a great time reading it. I love the writing style in this book, and I think it was really, really great. Again, has some great representation in this book, and I really, really enjoyed it. It's a wholesome story, also deals with some deeper themes, deals with general confusion, friendships, relationships. I loved it a lot, and also this title is fantastic, so how could you not love this book? A couple honorable mentions though I will say is The War-Crossed Duology by Marie Lu, Everything Everything and the Sun is Also a Star by Nicole Yoon, and Shadow Frost by Coco Ma. I love those books a lot. I would highly recommend them. They're such great times. I don't often like romance, but I really like Everything Everything and the Sun is Also a Star. The War-Crossed Duology is a short, futuristic technology kind of novel. It deals with virtual reality, and I love it. I love the relationships we see in that book. And also Shadow Frost was a book that kind of broke my reading slump that I had had for a while, so I just had such a great time reading that book. There's just so many great books out there, so I would definitely recommend some of those. Jasmine asks, what is something that will immediately make you dislike a book? I would count immediately as like the first 50 pages, and I've kind of thought about two things. One, if the world building sucks, not gonna name any names. And two, if it's very slow paced. Again, not gonna name any names. Just because I think if the world building sucks and or it's slow paced, those are just two of the worst things, especially in like a fantasy novel where you need both of those things to keep the reader's interest. But you know, sometimes writing's bad. I don't know, you can still like the book, but for me, I would definitely say those are things that definitely make me a little bit worried about if I'm going to enjoy the book that I'm currently reading. And finally, the last category, a few questions about some non-bookish things. So Yanis asks, what do you watch outside of booktube, and do you have a different non-booktube favorite creator? And the answer is yes. Some of my favorite creators outside of booktube would be Lily Singh, Ashley from Best Dressed, and I've also recently been getting into a bit of Ruby Granger's videos. I love their content a lot, and I actually do watch quite a bit of content outside of booktube as well. Lily Singh has been one of my all-time favorite YouTubers since I think like 5 or 6 years ago, and I will continue to support her no matter what. Ashley from Best Dressed, she makes fun, fashiony videos, sometimes vlogs, just chat and discussion videos. I love her vibe, I love her aesthetic, and I really love her videos. I think I've been watching them for about a year or two now, and I just am absolutely obsessed. And also I'm kind of getting into like morning routine, study, like life videos, and that's where Ruby Granger comes out. I've been watching a lot of her videos and I love them a lot. Those are just a couple examples of things I will watch outside of booktube. Throne of Books and Book Hug ask, what are your favorite hobbies outside of reading? Honestly, not that much. I would probably just say like hanging out with friends, which kind of sucks that we can't really do because of COVID, but it's fine. And watching YouTube videos. I definitely prefer watching YouTube videos over Netflix, and so I will watch a lot of YouTube in my free time when I can. And my last question comes from my friend Rebecca asking, how am I so awesome? And to that, I don't know. That is my 1K Q&A video. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you want to ask me another question, you can feel free to leave a comment down below, as I will be happy to answer them there. This was just a fun little video that I've been wanting to like kind of do for a while, and I thought, you know, why not do it now as a little mini celebration for a fun milestone that we just kind of hit. So thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, and like I said, if you have any questions for me, feel free to leave a comment down below and I will be happy to answer them. But once again, thank you all very much for 1,000 subscribers. I look forward to many more connections we will all make together, some more fun books we will read. Just thank you so much all to everyone who has been here for however long you have been here. Thank you for all the support. Anyways, I'll see you all very soon in a new video. So until then, bye.